Okay, so we're just going to add add some color to the pants, and so to start off, we're going to actually just go in and just add the white to the stitches. And so to do that, I'm going to just add a new fill layer, and it's going to stay white. And from here, I'm going to add a black mask. And right here, I'm just going to reduce my brush size. I think we'll put this at like 1.4, and we'll see how this looks. It's not too bad. So here, just want to zoom in just a little bit just so I get a little closer. And this is going to bleed just a little bit, looks like. Just going to try and get close to, whoops. So if you hold down shift, you can actually, so if you start a stroke and just go straight, that seems to help. So just, if you start your stroke, hold down shift, goes straight. So start your stroke, hold down shift, start your stroke, hold down shift. Oops. So this is just kind of a little tedious thing going on here. Oops, I keep holding down. So you want to start the stroke first and then hold down shift. Keep holding it, getting the wrong keys there. And I know that the way to actually the way to symmetry, which I tried to do this in symmetry mode, but it doesn't look like the pants are actually, or the stitches are in symmetry, so that's why I'm doing them all by hand. And I also have a little bit more control here too. So we'll just do it this way for now. This will just get put in the, oh, also I just want to make sure that all these, okay, we'll go back to the paint layer and I'll just make sure that that this is just set to color and not anything else, because we already have the normal and everything else added here, so we don't need to add that stuff to this layer. This is just going to be a paint layer. Some of these can't be too straight. I keep hitting my Windows button. That's why I keep seeing that pop up. Alright, let's zoom out, see how that looks. Not too bad. And so from here, we'll just go to this other side, and same thing. Whoops. So we'll start the stroke. Oops, holding down shift at the wrong time will do that to you. So I'm just manually coming in here and painting out each of these. Oops, keep hitting the Windows button. My Alt button is right next to my Windows button. It's causing me to hit that button. Just need to make sure that I look at my keyboard and hit that Alt button, not the Windows button. Just like so. Last one coming up here. Oops, don't want to undo that. Alright. And just zoom out, hit frame. It looks alright. Alright, so I'm going to just go back up to this paint layer, and I'm actually going to turn off all this other stuff. Just leave it in, leave it under color. And then I'm going to also name it. So just name this stitching, pant stitching, just so I can remember what that is. And under the pants. Alright, and then so for this next one I'm going to go to the belt and color in the belt, which I believe I have a belt color here. That's a buckle color. So actually we can go to the belt color and we'll just mask this guy off. So we'll just go to the mask. First go here, yep, it's under color, so under the belt color, and then so I'm just going to basically paint in this mask here. We might be able to actually just go to the UVs. So to do so, we'll just go over to 3D 2D mode, and actually I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this that way or not. Yeah, that's not going to work when I actually have to paint it, so that's fine. So I just want to make sure that we'll go back to 3D mode, which is F2 on the keyboard if you want to hotkey that. Other than that, I'm just going to have to paint this in. So I'm just coming pretty close to here and getting that paint in there. I'm just kind of hitting the edges, so then that way I'll be able to go in with a bigger brush. So for now I'm just actually going in here, just hitting this like right along the edges. So just right along the edge. You can turn on a lazy mode too, which I believe, where is lazy mode? I'm not going to use lazy mode just because I'm just going to throw this paint in here. And I may fast forward through some of this so you don't have to actually watch all this. It's kind of just minutely going in and painting right on the layer. Unnecessary to really watch that. It's like watching paint dry. So just going to zoom in a little closer so you can see a lot of it. You can kind of try and hit this all with one stroke if you have a tablet, which seems to help. Just kind of straighten that line out. Then from here, should be able to bring my brush up a little bit more. Hit this with a bigger brush. Just fill in this paint a little more. Just bring my brush down. And if you overshoot, just grab your eraser, erase the parts that you might have overshot. I'm just flipping my pen using a tablet, so that works. So here I'm just going to rotate around this guy. Just trying to hit this all with one stroke. Not perfect, but not bad either. Just trying to, much easier to paint the bigger brush once you kind of draw the boundaries. Oops, that I'll just erase. Go back here. And for this, and this does kind of take a steady hand, so if you do have a tablet or you're drawing on a screen, you can kind of rotate that a little better. You can also paint on the actual texture map as well. So with that, I can actually just bump this brush up a little bit more now and fill in this color better, a little faster. I'm just making this brush a little bigger so I can get filling this up a little bit. I think actually I might be able to oops, not what I wanted to do there. Back to paintbrush. So when I get down closer here, I just want to get to a smaller brush just so I don't overshoot that line. Here too. And then here I can go a little bigger. And the hotkeys to resize and size is the brackets. So bracket right and bracket left will up and down the size of your brush. So with that. So I'll show you as well in the 2D mode. So if we go 2D mode, and we can actually zoom in here and paint here as well. So just showing you that this way works as well. You can just draw right directly on the texture map. Pretty cool. So here it's kind of sloppy, so just going in here, just erasing right through here, through this belt buckle area, and then going back to the brush, just making this a little bit smaller, just so when I hit this, so I can hit that a little bit better. And so here, I'm going to just try and draw this stroke out. Not very good, but it's going to go slow, and it's not working either. Let's see. It's a linear line. So to turn on Lazymouse, if you're using a mouse, or even for the pen, you just hit these two dot buttons here, and you can set the distance of how that Lazymouse will react. So here, if I'm way out here, and I'm at 7, right? It's not really gonna, it's just really, it takes really long before it's way outside the circle. So to fix that, you just tweak that down to whatever size. So now here you can see you have that much, your lag is basically from the point where the white point is to the end of the circle. So you'll see as you start, once it gets to that point, it's going to start dragging. So to change that, you can just change that distance. And so when you start the stroke, it's not going to, once this black comes out, you'll see it's going to start drawing. So that's how you set that in your Lazymouse settings. So I'll probably just put mine at like 0.6, 0.5, 0.6, not too bad. So when I start here, I can actually, once this goes, there you go. So now you can just kind of watch that circle, how that's actually, that way if you're a little off on the, so once you start, you just watch the end of that circle where you're at. There you go. And the same here. Actually, I'm going to bump my distance probably up to like 0.3, just so I can get, so I can see a little better. 0.3 is a little better. I am using a tablet as well. So we'll just make sure that we turn this in 2D mode too, which I like, is that you can actually rotate the canvas. Oops, not rotate the canvas there. If you hold down Alt, you can actually rotate the canvas. And then that way you can actually make easier strokes. Alright, so with that, I'm going to actually turn that off because I don't really need it right now. Just wanted to get those edges put in there real quickly. And just bring my brush size up. And here, just paint a little bit bigger. And so holding Alt, and you can rotate. So just a little bit smaller as I get in here. I just want to make sure that I'm close to that line too. It looks like there's some seeing, I can see through the line up there. So I just want to make sure that this is all filled in. Oops, I'm going to undo that step just because I painted over the line there. And here, go a little bigger. Let's fill that in. Then from here, if I frame with the F, and then I can go back to 3D mode, which is F2. And so I'm just going to frame this as well. Just going to take a look around that. That's what the belt looks like on the front. I just want to add to the back. And I'll probably do that in 2D mode again. And so if I hit F3, go back to 2D mode. And then from here, we'll just zoom in on that part. Just bump down my size of my brush here.